Have you ever felt drained after helping someone, almost like they've taken something from you? It's a disturbing feeling, realizing your kindness has been weaponized. Today, we're diving into the dark side of empathy, revealing how some individuals exploit your good nature for their own gain. We're not talking about simple manipulation. This is a calculated strategy to use your compassion against you. Empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of another, is a cornerstone of human connection. We're wired to respond to distress, to offer a helping hand. But what happens when that wiring is hijacked? When someone intentionally plays on your empathetic nature to achieve their own selfish ends? According to a study published in the Journal of Social Psychology, individuals high in Machiavellianism, a personality trait characterized by manipulation and a lack of empathy, are adept at identifying and exploiting empathetic individuals. They see your kindness as a weakness, a vulnerability to be exploited. This isn't about victims and villains. It's about understanding the subtle signs that someone is draining your emotional resources. It's about recognizing the patterns of behavior that indicate your empathy is being used against you. We'll explore the tactics these individuals employ, from sob stories to guilt trips, and equip you with the knowledge to protect yourself from emotional exploitation. Stay tuned, because understanding these signs could save you from a world of heartache and resentment. Go ahead and leave a like if you are ready for me to dive into it. Empathy at its core is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. It's the invisible bridge that connects us, fostering compassion and cooperation. Sociologists often highlight empathy as a cornerstone of societal cohesion, enabling us to navigate complex social landscapes with greater understanding and sensitivity. But what happens when this beautiful trait is twisted, weaponized, and used against us? Think of it this way. Empathy is like a powerful magnet. It draws us to others, allowing us to feel their joys and sorrows as if they were our own. However, some individuals possess a keen understanding of this magnetic pull and exploit it for their own gain. They are masters of manipulation, expertly identifying and preying on those with heightened empathy. They use emotional leverage to control and influence, leaving their victims feeling drained, used, and confused. According to a study published in the Journal of Social Psychology, individuals with high empathy scores are more likely to be targeted by manipulative tactics. This is because their genuine concern for others makes them vulnerable to emotional appeals and guilt trips. They are often willing to go the extra mile to help, even at their own expense. This willingness, while admirable, can be easily exploited by those with less than noble intentions. It's a disturbing reality, but one we must acknowledge to protect ourselves and those we care about. Empathy at its core is a superpower. It allows us to connect with others, to understand their pain, and to offer genuine support. But what happens when this incredible gift is twisted? What happens when someone weaponizes your empathy against you? It's a chilling thought, but it's a reality many empathetic individuals face. They become targets, their kindness exploited for personal gain. Think of it like this. Empathy is a light shining brightly in the darkness. It draws people in, offering warmth and understanding. But some are drawn to the light not for comfort, but to manipulate it, to use its power for their own selfish purposes. They see your willingness to help as a weakness, a vulnerability to exploit. According to studies, individuals with narcissistic or manipulative tendencies often seek out empathetic people as sources of supply. They thrive on the attention and validation they receive from those who genuinely care. This isn't about becoming cynical or closing yourself off from others. It's about developing awareness, learning to recognize the signs that someone might be taking advantage of your good nature. It's about setting boundaries and protecting your emotional well-being. After all, you can't pour from an empty cup. Recognizing these signs is a first step in reclaiming your power and ensuring that your empathy remains a source of strength, not a tool for manipulation. Empathy at its core is a beautiful thing. It's the bridge that connects us, the invisible thread that binds us together in a shared human experience. But like any powerful force, it can be twisted, manipulated, and used for nefarious purposes. It's crucial to understand that while empathy makes us compassionate, it can also make us vulnerable. Think of empathy as a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. But just like any muscle, it can be strained. Emotional manipulators are masters at identifying and exploiting this strength, turning your compassion into a weapon against you. They prey on your desire to help, to understand, and to make the world a better place. According to research published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, individuals high in empathy are more likely to be targeted by manipulators. This is because they tend to be more trusting and forgiving, making them easier to exploit. The study found that manipulators often use tactics such as guilt tripping, playing the victim, and exaggerating their emotions to elicit sympathy and gain control. So, how do we protect ourselves from this dark side of empathy? How do we maintain our compassion without becoming easy targets? The first step is awareness. Recognizing the signs that someone is exploiting your empathy is crucial for setting boundaries and protecting yourself from emotional harm. Empathy, though a virtue, can be a gateway for manipulation. When someone consistently seeks your sympathy, particularly with exaggerated or fabricated stories, it's a red flag. They might dramatize everyday inconveniences to garner attention and sympathy, painting themselves as perpetual victims. This behavior often stems from a deep-seated need for validation or a manipulative intent to control your emotions and actions. The goal here is to tap into your natural inclination to help, making you feel guilty if you don't offer assistance. An article published in the Journal of Social Psychology highlighted that individuals with high empathy levels are more susceptible to emotional manipulation, as their desire to alleviate others' suffering can cloud their judgment. They become easy targets, their compassion weaponized against them. Furthermore, these individuals rarely reciprocate the empathy they demand. When you share your own struggles, they might dismiss them or quickly shift the focus back to their own problems. This one-way emotional street is a clear sign that your empathy is being exploited, not appreciated. It's essential to recognize this imbalance and set boundaries to protect your emotional well-being. Remember, genuine empathy involves mutual support and understanding, not a constant drain on your emotional resources. Empathy, at its core, is about understanding and sharing the feelings of another. But what happens when that beautiful quality is twisted, weaponized, and turned against you? It's a chilling thought, isn't it? To realize that your very kindness, your ability to connect with and care for others, is being exploited for someone else's gain. Think about it for a moment. Empathetic people are often the first to offer help, the quickest to forgive, and the most willing to give others the benefit of the doubt. These are wonderful traits, of course, but they can also make you a prime target for manipulation. Someone who preys on empathy understands this, and they will use your good nature against you, slowly but surely draining your emotional resources. According to a study published in the Journal of Social Psychology, individuals with high levels of empathy are more likely to experience emotional burnout when consistently exposed to the distress of others. This vulnerability is precisely what manipulators exploit. They create situations, often through elaborate stories or feigned helplessness, where your empathetic response is triggered. You feel compelled to help, to alleviate their suffering, and in doing so, you become entangled in their web. It's a subtle game, a slow burn, but the consequences can be devastating. You begin to question your own judgment, your own boundaries, and your own worth. Empaths, because of their deep emotional awareness, often attract narcissists or individuals with manipulative tendencies. These individuals are drawn to the empathy of others like moths to a flame, and they will use your good nature against you. It's a disturbing reality, isn't it? But understanding it is crucial for self-preservation. Let's say you confide in someone about a personal struggle. A truly empathetic person would offer support and understanding, but an exploitative individual, they might feign concern initially, only to later use your vulnerability against you. Maybe they'll subtly bring it up in arguments or share your secret with others to make you look bad. A study published in the Journal of Personality found that individuals high in narcissism often exploit others' vulnerabilities to maintain a sense of superiority. This is a classic manipulation tactic they'll use to prey on your empathy. It's essential to distinguish between genuine empathy and manipulative behavior. Someone genuinely empathetic will respect your boundaries and offer support without seeking personal gain. A manipulator, on the other hand, will use your emotions to their advantage, eroding your self-esteem and sense of security. Spotting this difference is key to safeguarding your well-being. Now, Let's delve into sign number 3, the constant sob story. These manipulators always seem to have a tragedy brewing or a past trauma they're eager to share. While genuine vulnerability is a cornerstone of healthy relationships, these individuals weaponize their hardships. They'll recount tales of woe, often exaggerating or fabricating details to elicit your sympathy. They're masters of emotional blackmail, using their suffering as leverage to get what they want. According to a study published in the Journal of Social Psychology, individuals high in manipulative traits often use emotional appeals, such as playing the victim, to influence others. This tactic is especially effective on empathetic individuals who are naturally inclined to offer support and assistance. The manipulator preys on this innate desire to help, creating a cycle of dependence and exploitation. You might find yourself constantly bending over backward to alleviate their problems, neglecting your own needs in the process. This isn't to say that everyone who shares their struggles is a manipulator. The key difference lies in the intent. A genuine friend seeks understanding and support, not a blank check for their desires. The empathy exploiter, on the other hand, uses their sob story as a means to an end, viewing your compassion as a resource to be tapped. They rarely offer genuine reciprocity, and their problems miraculously disappear when they've achieved their objective. Empathy, while a beautiful trait, can become a vulnerability when it's exploited. One of the first signs is a constant barrage of sob stories. These individuals are masters of emotional manipulation, weaving tales of woe designed to tug at your heartstrings and loosen your grip on your resources. They might exaggerate their difficulties, conveniently omitting details that would paint them in a less sympathetic light. It's like they're always auditioning for the role of the victim, and you're the casting director holding the keys to their salvation. Think about it. Do you find yourself consistently lending money, offering favors, or providing emotional support to the same person, only to see them repeat the same patterns of self-inflicted crisis? This isn't about offering genuine help to someone facing hardship. It's about becoming an enabler in a carefully orchestrated drama. Statistics show that people who identify as highly empathetic are more likely to be targeted by manipulators, highlighting the importance of recognizing these red flags. Remember, genuine hardship is often accompanied by a willingness to find solutions and a sense of gratitude for the help received, not a perpetual cycle of demands and excuses. Now, let's flip the script and talk about how the manipulators weaponize your empathy. Ever notice how some people are always in crisis mode? It's never just a bad day. It's a full-blown catastrophe that only you can solve. They're masters of exaggerating their problems, playing on your sympathy to get you to jump through hoops for them. They might say things like, "I don't know what I'd do without you," or "You're the only one who understands me." Sounds flattering, right? But it's a trap. They're creating a dependency, making you feel obligated to constantly rescue them. The moment you try to set boundaries, BM, you're hit with guilt trips and accusations of being selfish or uncaring. According to a study published in the Journal of Social Psychology, individuals high in manipulative traits often target those with high empathy, knowing they are more likely to be compliant and forgiving. These emotional vampires drain your energy and resources, leaving you feeling exhausted and resentful. It's like they have a sixth sense for sniffing out kind-hearted individuals. They know those who are eager to lend a helping hand, so they strategically exploit that generosity. Spotting this tactic is the first step in protecting yourself. Because let's be honest, empathy is a superpower, but it shouldn't be a weakness. Okay, buckle up, because we're diving deeper into the dark side of empathy. Another sneaky tactic used by empathy vampires is the guilt trip express. These individuals are masters of manipulation, preying on your compassionate nature to make you feel responsible for their feelings or actions. They might say things like, "If you really cared about me, you would," or "I'm so stressed, and it's all because you." Sound familiar? The goal here is to create a sense of obligation within you. They want you to feel like you have to do something for them, not because you want to, but because you'll feel guilty if you don't. This is a classic manipulation play that exploits your empathy for their personal gain. They're essentially holding your emotions hostage. And the worst part? It often works. Because who wants to feel like they're the reason someone else is suffering? According to a study published in the Journal of Social Psychology, Individuals with high levels of empathy are more susceptible to guilt tripping. This is because they are naturally inclined to take on emotions of others, making them more vulnerable to manipulative tactics that exploit their sense of responsibility. So, if you're an empathetic person, you need to be extra vigilant about recognizing when someone is trying to guilt trip you. Recognizing this tactic is the first step in dismantling its power. Another telltale sign is when they only seek you out during a crisis. It's like you're their personal emotional ATM, only there when they need a withdrawal. Think about the times they've reached out. Were they genuinely interested in your life, or was it always a sob story followed by a request? If it's the latter, alarm bells should be ringing. This pattern isn't about genuine connection. It's about exploitation. They see your empathy as a weakness to be leveraged, a resource to be drained. Consider this. A study published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships found that individuals high in manipulative traits tend to selectively target empathetic individuals during times of personal distress. They're drawn to your nurturing nature, like moths to a flame, but their intentions are far from pure. It's a calculated move, a strategic exploitation of your natural inclination to help. The key here is recognizing the imbalance. Are you consistently giving without receiving? Is your emotional bandwidth being stretched to its limit by their constant demands? If so, you're likely being manipulated. Another red flag is the guilt trip. They're masters of emotional manipulation, subtly twisting the narrative to make you feel responsible for their well-being. If you dare to set a boundary or prioritize your own needs, they'll deploy the guilt card with surgical precision. I thought I could count on you, they'll lament, or I don't know what I'll do without you. These phrases are designed to prey on your empathetic nature, to make you question your own judgment and cave to their demands. The second trap that manipulative people set is the guilt trip express. Ever heard someone say, "After all I've done for you," that's a signal. These individuals weaponize your empathy by constantly reminding you of their past sacrifices or hardships. They aim to make you feel indebted, so you're more likely to comply with their requests, no matter how unreasonable. It's all about creating an imbalance in a relationship where you feel obligated to give, while they take and take. This tactic preys on your desire to be a good person and repay kindness, but it's often a calculated move to control you. Next up is the emotional sob story. Everyone faces challenges, but manipulators exaggerate their difficulties to gain sympathy and leverage. It might sound like, "If you don't help me with this, I don't know what I'll do." By playing the victim, they bypass your rational thinking and appeal directly to your emotions. You become so focused on alleviating their perceived suffering that you overlook your own needs and boundaries. Statistics show that people with high empathy scores are more susceptible to this tactic, often prioritizing the needs of others over their own well-being. Another tactic they might use is guilt tripping. They know your empathetic nature makes you susceptible to feeling responsible for their emotions. So they'll lay on the guilt, making you feel like you have to help them to alleviate their suffering. They might say things like, "If you really cared about me, you would do this," or "I don't know what I'll do if you don't help me." It's emotional blackmail, plain and simple, and it's designed to manipulate your empathy. Statistically, people with high empathy scores are more likely to experience emotional exhaustion and burnout from constantly absorbing the stress and negativity of others. A study published in the Journal of Counseling Psychology found a direct correlation between high empathy and increased risk of secondary traumatic stress, a condition similar to PTSD that can develop from exposure to the trauma of others. These manipulators are essentially feeding off of your good nature, leaving you drained and depleted. Consider Sarah, who always jumped to help her friend Mark with his financial troubles. Mark would constantly complain about his bills and how stressed he was, knowing Sarah couldn't stand to see him suffer. Eventually, Sarah was working overtime and sacrificing her own needs to keep Mark afloat, only to realize he was spending his money on luxuries while she struggled to make ends meet. He was exploiting her empathy for his own gain, leaving her resentful and exhausted. Recognize the pattern? You're being guilted into action. Now, let's talk about sign number 3, relentless guilt tripping. These individuals are masters of manipulation, using guilt as their weapon of choice. They'll constantly remind you of past favors, highlight their sacrifices, and make you feel responsible for their happiness or lack thereof. According to a study published in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships, guilt tripping is a common tactic used in emotionally abusive relationships. It erodes your self-esteem and makes you more susceptible to their demands. Think about it. Have you ever found yourself constantly apologizing, even when you haven't done anything wrong? Do you feel like you're always walking on eggshells, afraid to upset them? That's a clear sign that someone is exploiting your empathy through guilt. They know you care, and they're using that against you. They might say things like, "After everything I've done for you," or "If you really cared about me, you would." These statements are designed to make you feel obligated to meet their needs, regardless of your own. This behavior can be particularly damaging because it preys on your desire to be a good person. You want to help, you want to be supportive, but they're taking advantage of your kind nature. They're turning your empathy into a tool for their own selfish gain. Recognizing this pattern is the first step in breaking free from their manipulative grip. But it doesn't stop there. Emotional blackmailers are masters of guilt trips. They know how to make you feel responsible for their feelings, even when you've done nothing wrong. They might say things like, "If you really cared about me, you would," or "After everything I've done for you, this is how you repay me." These statements are designed to trigger your empathy and make you cave to their demands. Studies show that individuals high in empathy are more susceptible to guilt manipulation tactics. Manipulators often create dependencies, making themselves indispensable to you. This can range from needing constant emotional support to relying on you for practical tasks they could easily do themselves. By creating this dependency, they ensure you'll always be there to cater to their needs, playing on your empathetic nature. They know you won't abandon someone who seems to need you so desperately. Moreover, these individuals are skilled at playing the victim. They constantly highlight their misfortunes and struggles, seeking sympathy and attention. While genuine support for someone in need is crucial, manipulators use this tactic to avoid taking responsibility for their actions and to guilt you into helping them. They'll subtly remind you of their hardships, making it difficult to say no, even when their requests are unreasonable. Remember, empathy is a powerful force, but it can become a weapon in the hands of someone with malicious intent. Another tactic of empathy exploiters involves creating a victim identity. These individuals consistently portray themselves as victims of circumstance, seeking sympathy and assistance. Think of someone who always has a sob story ready, no matter the situation. They might exaggerate their hardships or even fabricate them to garner more attention and support. Studies show that people are naturally inclined to help those they perceive as vulnerable, making this tactic highly effective. By positioning themselves as perpetual victims, they manipulate empathetic individuals into providing constant assistance. This assistance can range from emotional support to financial aid, creating a dependency that benefits the exploiter while draining the resources of the empathetic person. It's a subtle but powerful way to gain control. They know that your empathy will compel you to act, and they use this knowledge to their advantage, creating a cycle of need and support that is difficult to break. The danger here is that genuine victims can also suffer from this perception. When someone constantly cries wolf, it becomes harder to discern when they are truly in need. This erodes trust and can make it challenging for those genuinely suffering to receive the help they require. Spotting this manipulation tactic is crucial in protecting your empathy and ensuring it is used for those who truly deserve it. Ever been in a situation where you're bending over backwards to help someone, only to feel like you're being taken advantage of? It's a terrible feeling, and unfortunately, it's a common tactic used by manipulators. They prey on our empathy, turning our good nature against us. We're diving deep into the murky waters of emotional manipulation, specifically how some individuals exploit the empathy of others for their own gain. Get ready to learn how to spot these manipulative tactics before you become a victim. Imagine Sarah, a kind-hearted soul who always puts others first. She has a friend, Mark, who constantly comes to her with his problems. At first, Sarah is happy to lend an ear and offer support. But soon, Mark's requests become more demanding. He starts asking for money, favors, and always needs a shoulder to cry on. Sarah finds herself drained and resentful, but she feels guilty saying no. That's where the manipulation starts. Studies show that empaths, people with high levels of empathy, are particularly vulnerable to this kind of exploitation. A study published in the Journal of Social Psychology found that individuals with high empathy scores were more likely to be taken advantage of in social interactions. This is because they often prioritize others' needs over their own, making them easy targets for manipulators. They're so focused on alleviating the other person's pain that they neglect their own well-being. Another tactic manipulators employ is feigned helplessness. They might constantly claim they just can't do something, even if it's within their capabilities. This isn't genuine need. It's a calculated move to make you feel obligated to step in and assist. Over time, this dependency can become incredibly draining, as you're essentially functioning as a perpetual caretaker. They prey on empathetic people who naturally want to help those in need. Consider this scenario. A co-worker consistently asks for help with tasks they should be able to handle themselves. "Oh, I'm just not good with spreadsheets," they might say, or "technology just hates me." Initially, you might be happy to lend a hand, but if it becomes a recurring pattern and they show no effort to improve their skills, it's a sign that they're exploiting your empathy. They're essentially offloading their responsibilities onto you while playing the helpless card. This not only increases your workload, but also stunts their own growth and development. Remember, genuine requests for help are different from consistent dependence fueled by a lack of effort and responsibility. According to a study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, individuals high in manipulativeness are skilled at identifying and exploiting the vulnerabilities of others, particularly those with high levels of empathy. So, how do you protect yourself? It's not about becoming heartless. It's about recognizing the patterns and setting boundaries. Start by becoming aware of your own emotional responses. When do you feel that familiar tug of empathy? What situations trigger your desire to help others, even at your own expense? Once you identify these triggers, you can start to consciously evaluate the situation. Ask yourself, is this person consistently asking for help without taking steps to improve their situation? Are they making me feel guilty or responsible for their happiness? Are my own needs being completely disregarded? If the answer to any of these questions is yes, it's time to set some boundaries. This might mean saying no to requests, limiting the amount of time you spend with a person, or redirecting the conversation when they start to complain. It can be difficult, especially if you're used to being a caregiver. But remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. Taking care of yourself is not selfish. It's essential for your own well-being. And crucially, challenge the narrative. Empathy is powerful, but it shouldn't blind you to reality. Gather information, seek different perspectives, and trust your instincts. If something feels off, it probably is. Don't let someone else's sob story override your own intuition. There's also the exploitation that stems from deliberately vague requests. Think about it. Someone asks for help, but doesn't specify what kind. Now, you're left guessing, expending your emotional energy trying to decipher their unarticulated needs. This is a classic manipulation tactic, because empathic people, driven by their nature, often overextend themselves figuring out how to assist, even when the other person refuses to clarify. The manipulator then subtly guilts the empath if their efforts miss the mark. According to a study published in the Journal of Social Psychology, individuals with high levels of manipulativeness frequently use indirect communication to keep others off balance and dependent on them. They create situations where their needs are ambiguous, relying on the empath's eagerness to help to do the work for them. It's a form of emotional outsourcing, where the empath bears the burden of anticipating and meeting the manipulator's unspoken desires. The empath feels obligated to keep trying, further feeding the cycle of exploitation. The manipulator remains conveniently passive, reaping the rewards of the empath's relentless efforts. This dynamic not only drains the empath, but also reinforces the manipulator's power and control within the relationship. Now, let's talk about how to shield yourself from these emotional vampires. Setting boundaries is your first line of defense. It's about defining what you're comfortable with and sticking to it, no matter how much someone tries to guilt trip you. Remember, no is a complete sentence. You don't owe anyone an explanation for protecting your energy. Next, recognize the patterns. Are you constantly feeling drained after interacting with a certain person? Do they always seem to be in crisis, relying on you for emotional support without ever reciprocating? Awareness is key. Once you identify the manipulator, you can adjust your interactions accordingly. Don't be afraid to distance yourself. It's okay to create space between you and someone who consistently exploits your empathy. This doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you a self-respecting one. Finally, practice self-care. Empathy is a beautiful trait, but it shouldn't come at the expense of your own well-being. Make sure you're nurturing your own needs, setting aside time for activities that bring you joy and relaxation. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup before you extend a helping hand. Ensure you have the reserves to do so without depleting yourself. So, what can you do to protect yourself from these empathetic exploiters? First, learn to recognize the signs. If someone is constantly playing victim, always needing your help but never reciprocating, or making you feel guilty for setting boundaries, it's a red flag. Trust your gut. If a situation feels off, it probably is. It's also crucial to practice self-care. You can't pour from an empty cup, and if you're constantly giving, you'll eventually burn out. Set clear boundaries and learn to say no without feeling guilty. Your empathy is a gift, but it's not an unlimited resource. Remember, it's okay to prioritize your own well-being. Moreover, surround yourself with people who value and respect your empathy rather than exploit it. Healthy relationships are built on reciprocity and mutual support. You deserve to be around individuals who uplift you and appreciate your kindness without taking advantage of it. Finally, remember that seeking professional help can be incredibly beneficial. A therapist can provide you with tools and strategies to navigate these situations and protect yourself from manipulation. They can also help you understand why you might be more susceptible to these types of relationships in the first place. Empathy is a powerful trait, but it's essential to wield it wisely. Don't let others dim your light. Instead, shine brightly while staying grounded in self-awareness and self-respect.